Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for 2.7's ToA reset. And as you're all probably aware, the ToA has gotten some upgrades. It's also some of the only content that's going to be available in the 2.7 patch. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Hopefully it's a good reset. First things first, we gotta go see what the structure of the floors are looking like. And thankfully, we do have some auto-clearing action going on. So we should have... What the fuck? Son of a bitch. Oh, that didn't work. What we're going to be doing today is, of course, breaking down all of the different bosses, all the different mechanics that are going to be available. I think we're just going to go with the traditional way of doing it, starting it off on the middle tower. So first things first, we're going to have over here, when Resonators use their liberation, they're going to get a 3,000 point shield with electro resistance and air resistance being reduced. And upon obtaining a shield, their attribute damage bonus is increased by 10%, and their attack is increased by 12% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. And so, naturally, as you can see, right, there's not going to be a lot of characters in the game that are going to be able to max out the full shielding effect. You're actually going to have Augusta and Yuno as some of the only units that can get it. But you'll still be able to get that 10% attribute damage bonus and 12% attack bonus for 10 seconds. I would say this is a big major improvement over the last time that we saw this buff, where it was simply a 15% damage bonus that would only last about 4 seconds. So, honestly, I don't think this one is actually going to be that bad. I actually think this one is going to be quite good for a lot of people. It's still a 10-second duration one. And when you consider when liberations are used, typically either at the start of a rotation around those lines, then, well, your damage is going to be pretty well buffed by this. I think the main character that's not going to have as much benefit is actually going to be Carlotta, because it's an attack increase. And the boss that we're going to be having over here is Hypercarry. So that could also be a bit of an issue for some people, because there's also going to be a Havoc and Spectre resistance increase. So I can imagine on this side, oh, it's just going to be double Havoc. Oh, it's a double Havoc floor. There's still a Spectre resistance increase, but there's no actual Spectro enemies. So I guess we'll just have to see how a unit like, or a team, maybe like a Zani actually is going to perform over here. When it comes to floor 3, well, this is where stuff is going to get a little bit more interesting. So 60 seconds after the battle starts, Resonator's total damage is increased by 5%. Same buff that we saw the last time in the ToA. And this one is also going to have another buff. Crit damage is increased by 35%, just at a baseline to everybody, and Echo skill damage is amplified by 50%. And when Resonators cast an intro skill, they gain a 50% heavy attack bonus for 30 seconds. So there's a lot of characters, a lot of different mechanics, a lot of things being buffed. The main one is probably going to be Galbraina, because a 50% Echo skill damage amplification is huge. But I'm also going to be honest with you about one thing. Galbraina might actually need this if you're using her more free-to-play teams, because her, without Mono Fusion, isn't really a team that performs particularly well. So you can almost view this as like a replacement for her teammate, which is, well, let's just be honest here. Her main teammate is supposed to be Chuyan. And through the story, we've actually taken a look at what this guy's outro skill actually is, and it's just grant a 50% Echo skill damage amplification to the incoming Resonator. It's clearly designed for Galbraina, but he's not in the game yet. And so that's why I honestly think it's in here. Because if you use Galbraina outside of Mono Fusion, like I said before, it's a little bit rough. There's also going to be a third bonus over here. Upon inflicting a negative status on an enemy, the defense is increased by 10%, and attack is increased by 10% for 5 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. So as you can see over here, this is one of the most loaded stage buffs I've ever seen, to the point where it's supporting Spectro Frazzle because of this buff, and then this heavy attack buff and the crit damage buff. It's also supporting air erosion teams because of this buff as well, and then it's also going to be supporting, right, any team that can actually apply negative statuses in the first place. Unless this means that it's going to buff the enemy and give them defense. We got a Spectral resistance increase over here. Let's just try it with a very typical sort of like Zoni team and just, you know, see how this one performs. Hopefully, it's not going to be too hard. But when it comes to Hikari's moveset, I'm already starting to feel a little bit concerned. So that's what the build is looking like on the Phoebe. She has a lot of ER, and then the Zani's build is looking like this. They're all going to be S0R1, I do believe. And I think Shorekeeper is also going to be having her weapon. Yep, she is. And Phoebe's also going to have hers. So let's give this team a bit of a try. Let's see how we can do. And see if Hikaru's going to wipe the floor with us on this one.
All yours.
Honestly, she's using that move at the start, and it's not that bad. Because you know for certain, right? You know for certain that it's not going to matter that much. Bro, this character is just so ass. Yeah, by the time we enter in on Zani, all of the annoying parts of her moveset are like... Okay, I'm not gonna lie. This character is... That's a little bit rough to go into the middle of those attack chains like that. I mean, that didn't feel terrible, but that was a little bit annoying. That was a little bit rough. I think you guys already saw over there what that looked like. Oh, dearie me. Oh, dearie me. I just want my Forte attack. Please.
All yours. I don't have all day.
I'm gonna be real with you. This is,
Don't stand in my way. My shield can
yeah, this character's looking a little bit rough into this. I'm gonna be real with you, man. Yeah, I'm just gonna say this as a recommendation. Do not use this team against Hikaru unless you want to practice a long time to like get the attack animations and that stuff looking good. Cause holy moly. The fact that I was spending so much time literally like chasing her around. Like this is terrible right here. Like this, I'm gonna be real with you, man. That's rough. Like that is, you're having a rough time doing that chasing and shit. And this is the thing, right? There's really no way for Zani as a character to like counter those moves because even if you were to use your parry on those attacks, you're not closing the distance with her. I'm just going to go out and say it. You probably will get a clear. You probably will get a clear using the team. But chances are you will just not be able to chase her down. And yes, you'll get the parries and stuff, but you won't be hitting her with them because she jumps so far away. So I personally don't think it's like a good matchup at all for Zani. I think you kind of saw firsthand where it's like a little bit ridiculous. Now let's go ahead and see what some other more traditional lineups are perhaps looking like, right? Let's just go ahead. I want to see what it looks like if we were to use something like let's not use a Gion team. Let's do a Carlotta team. That's going to be a good one. And once again, the Carlotta that we're going to be using is just it's the same one that we always use in these showcase videos. S0R1 with a pretty decent build. And then the Judge is going to be over here. She's naked right now. Let's go put some clothes on her. And she's got String Master. Okay, she's looking good. Let's give this a bit of a try. That is not something that ever happens in her gameplay. Pretty sure this is like a new one introduced in this patch.
Loading. Astral modulation. Instantly. Artem build.
Okay, I mean, we'll just make do with that one for now. But yeah, her shit is actually bugged right now.
Glory demands more.
I would say just damage-wise, though. Yeah. Doesn't look like HP inflation to me. Again, I think Zani is just dog shit against this boss. And of course, she's working into like some resistance, but I'll just be real with you, right? Yeah, this is just gonna 2-rotate this. This is just gonna 2-rotate this enemy.
After the sport. Here comes my company. Over. You crossed the wrong person. Found your weak spot. Brilliance lights the way. Victory favors me.
Yep, 2 rotations. Even less than 2 rotations. So it does appear that Hikari 1,000,000% has less HP compared to some of the prior bosses that we've had before. Or this attack is really good. Right? Or this buff is really good. And Carlotta happens to be a character that can stack up multiple instances of this buff. Which might be the case because each of her shots, I think, counts as casting a Resonance Liberation. So Carlotta might just be one of those units that's just like straight up repeatedly stacking this buff. Because as far as I'm concerned, there's no cooldown on getting this shield. You'll just get a 3,000 point one every time you use one of her shots. So Carlotta is without a doubt a unit that is blowing the fuck up out of this ToA. Maybe that's the situation, or she's only getting 1 stack, right? Because there's an internal cooldown on this. I don't know. But yeah, Carlotta, she's absolutely trivializing the hell out of this stage. Easy 2 rotation clear. Wasn't even able to get the 3rd rotation done. So yeah, she's gonna absolutely wipe it, no problem at all. Now for the second stage, well, this is where stuff's gonna get a little bit more interesting. Let's go ahead and see how the Augusta and Yuno team does. See how it looks when it's absolutely shilled and you got some crazy builds on the characters. Are these guys just not even attacking? Were they just like emoting to each other?
I'll indulge you. On you go. Taste my result.
I think they added a fair amount of like lag time in the ToA to the enemies. Some of them are just straight up like not doing anything when they spawn in. Okay, well, that attack sort of didn't hit. Oh, I didn't even wait. It probably doesn't matter, but I didn't wait 4 seconds before starting, so I actually don't have my Augusta Liberation. But as you can see over here, I don't think you even need to wait for her Majesty, and you'll still blow this shit up.
Now watch closely. On you go.
Yeah, it's just this team is obviously Giga Shield in this reset. Getting all of those repeated shield stacks and then fully getting that massive buff. Yeah, I mean, this team absolutely blows it up. Now let's see what it looks like when we're doing something a little bit different. I think that this is a stage that Zani is actually going to work a lot better on. So let's give her an opportunity, right, when she isn't against one of the more annoying enemies in the game for melee characters. Because I think she's going to do way better in this one. It's not going to be nearly as much of an issue. Yeah, these guys definitely have, like, some sort of, like, animation going on at the start where they're not doing anything. Probably, like, some way to, like, you know, level out. Multi-wave sort of, like, content.
No problem. All yours.
Yeah, she's doing way better here.
Come at me.
Yeah, she's doing way better.
Answer me. Lion graft me new. Sentinel protect me.
All yours. I don't have all day.
There we go.
Come on. Don't stand in my way. Reduce to dust.
Yeah, I mean,
In my way.
you can see over here, night and day difference.
Now I have a report to write.
Floating war with time. Sentinel protection. Judgment crystals. Give me strength. Purify power. Sentinel.
Come at me. All yours. All of you at once. I don't do overtime.
So yeah, I could definitely get those rotations off faster, for sure, but as you can see, the Spectre resistance isn't really that much of an issue, because we were starting that second Zani rotation. If that stage needed more damage done, we still had about 80 more Blaze to get through. So yeah, we just needed like the start of like that. Was that a third one? I'm not super sure. I don't even know like how many rotations that was in, because it felt like we were at around like 2.5, like barely the start of the third one. And so mainly the main thing, right, is that Zani's team rotation can be a lot shorter because there's way more animation cancels that you can do. But just playing that in a relatively, you know, simple sort of way, only doing a triple Nightfall but nothing else, you know, I think it's pretty clear that that one does get some pretty decent clears. However, one thing that we do got to keep in mind is that is like a full premium team. It isn't a Spectre resistance. The time wasn't that great, but what does it look like when we use another premium team? By all measures, is way worse. The Xiangli Yinlin team, the worst actual limited 5-star team in the game. There have been calculations done. This is actually the worst premium team in the game. So let's see how it does. Let's see how it does in this content, ladies and gentlemen. This will be a good final test. And let's get Yinlin on the nice, the amazing coordinated attack set, because she's gonna deal so much damage with this thing. Get that one going as well.
Worry not.
Watch and learn.
Iron graft we knew.
Tear them to pieces. Time to wrap it up.
You selected the Mortifi set. Oh, that makes sense.
Elimination. Very confined within limits. Exploit. Profit. Exploit. Profit. For complete overall.
Oath.
He didn't crit. Yeah, he didn't crit.
No mercy.
Yeah, he missed that crit.
Time.
We weren't able to get like a full, proper, you know, abuse of his hypercubes over here.
Zap strength. It's our curtain.
It is what it is. Oh, Yinlin's thing like barely cleared that guy.
Variable elimination. Conditions up. Pierce through the stars. Reconfiguration. Hey, ha. Step. Reconfiguration. Ha. Yeah. Reconfiguration. Complete.
No coords, no attack buff. Honestly, you're right. I forgot how annoying Yinlin's shit is to work on in what's it called? This is actually like really awful play, because you gotta factor in that, yeah, Yinlin was not like using her coordinated attacks that whole time.
Get lost.
So yeah, we had no Empire read active for that one.
Variable elimination. All shall reveal itself. Reconfiguration.
Honestly, I think this clears with like at like a 345. If we had gotten either Moonlit Clouds or something else along those lines. Yeah, I think there was way too much griefing going on in this gameplay. Yeah, maybe 330, 345 with like actual better stuff going on. But I mean, it is what it is. No, it's definitely clearable for sure. And this is the thing, I'm pretty sure the floors actually have less HP compared to prior stages, and he was already clearing prior stages. So, yeah, I think that's the main thing. Yeah, I know we're getting the bonuses over here and stuff, and there is a resistance decrease, but we did a whole rotation without having a support set active. So, I'm not too miffed about those results, knowing that we had a whole Xiangli out rotation with no attack buff from Empyrene at all. And we also missed the crit at the start, so we... that was 80k damage over the 240 that he normally deals. So, it is what it is for that one. I think I'm good on the middle stages. I don't think that there's that much of an issue. I think the main things are, do not use Zani against this boss unless you want to retry multiple times, because holy shit, what a fucking disaster. Just trying to use that character's kit against this boss. Over here, it's just really all about... I don't think there's anything wrong with this wave at all. It's just multi-wave, but all of the enemies are... pretty easy to deal with for any character in the game. Now, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at this stage, because I feel like this is the one that I wanted to do a lot of testing on. And of course, I think one of the best teams that we can do to test this one out is to use the Zani one, because I want to see whether or not this whole negative status thing, I want to see if it's an actual buff to the character or if it's a buff to the enemy. I'm not sure if anyone actually knows yet. Let's give this one a bit of a try and just see how it is. I don't know. I feel like that's a buff to us.
With time. Sentinel protects crystals. Give me strength. Purify. Power.
Shut. Sentinel. All yours. All of you at once. I don't do
Yeah, I would assume the applying negative status is buff. It's actually to us. Because it seems like Zani is actually just mowing this entire squad down. And if these enemies had like a defense buff, I don't feel like they would be dying this fast. But maybe I'm wrong. It doesn't seem like even with the defense buff that you'd be dealing with them this quickly.
No go. I can spare a minute to knock some heads around. Come at me. Don't stand in my way. Reduce to dust. My shield can withstand more.
Yeah.
Oath from the heart.
That's a wrap.
Worry not. Loading.
Zani converts Frazzle to Blaze, so it doesn't count as a debuff.
Sentinel protection.
Okay. What is that shit that just shows up on the enemy's fucking HP bar that shows an arrow going down? Oh, is that not a debuff? One thing about gacha players is that frequently they'll just be confidently incorrect. Because they have no idea what they're talking about. They've done absolutely zero testing, but they're desperate for somebody to think that they're right. That's all I can really say about the matter over there, because why would you, in every circumstance in the game, it's counted as a debuff, but suddenly here it doesn't? My takeaway on this is, upon inflicting negative statuses on an enemy, defense is increased by 10% and attack is increased by 10%. This is a buff to yourself. So, the number of viable teams in this tower are essentially as follows. If they deal echo skill damage, like for Lova, you're probably good. If they deal heavy attack damage, like a Gian or a Zani or any of that, you're probably good. If you have negative statuses, like Frazzle, Phoebe, Zani, Cartithia, Chacona, you're also probably good. I'm just gonna be real over here. This might be one of the most... It's a general buff because it gives you the crit damage. It also, isn't that general because of the heavy attack, but... Upon inflicting negative statuses, you get the defense and the attack increase as well. It's just, it seems like there's a lot of buffs available for a lot of different units. The issue, though, is that you're going to have a double wave of arrow enemies over here. So chances are you probably weren't going to use the arrow erosion team. You probably weren't going to use your Chakota. You probably aren't going to be using your Kartithia team against this lineup. So I would dare say the best overall characters in this ToA are without a doubt going to be the Zani team, because I think Zani can easily deal with these two enemies, and then a Galbraina team, naturally, because you got that Echo Skill damage amplification. But I'm also sure that a Frolova team is also going to do really, really, really well. So, again, we'll try out what the shield character is looking like. We can just give the Zani team a bit of a try. Again. And just see how it is against this floor. Because, again, I do think she is, like, the key unit to be using over here.
Lion graft you knew. Sentinel protection. Crystals. Give me
Zani's on banner. Not until next phase, to be honest.
power.
No complaints. All yours. All of you at once. I don't do overtime. Come at me. Reduce to dust. Don't stand in my way.
I mean, yeah, she's completely cleaning this shit.
Report to right.
Stay calm. Diminish astral modulation. Sentinel protect Bluebird. Be my salvation. Purify power.
Shut.
Sentinel.
Come at me. All yours. I can spare a minute to knock some heads at
-1 Nightfall. Yeah, that's what happens when you trigger the parry, bro.
Come at me. Don't stand in my way.
Okay, I just missed some of the attacks over there. I'm not going to extend this rotation, though.
Just
Oath from the heart.
what a waste of time.
Worry not. Gather in war with time. Sentinel protect me. Answer me. Path is arduous. Sight.
Oh, I canceled one of Phoebe's attacks, so I have no blaze. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I'm missing some blaze. Whoopsies.
Come at me.
That's one of the other things that can happen in this fucking team. You can, like, cancel one of Phoebe's heavy attacks and, like, lose all your blaze. Which is, unfortunately, what happened here. But, yeah.
Ordained.
I mean,
Load astral modulation.
this team is doing, like, okay. I don't think it's, like, absolutely, like, breaking open the game like Augusta and were in other resets. I think that's definitely going to be, like, the, that's definitely going to be the team that...
Power of the Sentinel.
Oh, dearie me. Where's my Phoebe's outro skill, bro?
In the name of Imperator.
Like, Augusta and in the last reset were just, like, broken.
I can spare
But I
a
would
minute
say that
to
this
knock
team
some
doesn't
heads
feel
around.
close to, like, the same levels as Augusta and before. And it's easily the one that's supposed to be benefiting the most from these buffs. For certain, it's easily supposed to be the one. Like, everything lines up except the Echo Skill damage piece. But everything else lines up perfectly for it. I would say, when it comes to, like, the ceilings, I think that these buffs are raising the floor for almost every single unit on the roster, because you're getting that 35% crit damage increase. There's no need to dodge or do any of that other stuff. I would dare say, though, that it is, like, a little bit interesting, right? I do think it's, like, a little bit interesting that they've decided to lower the power ceiling as well on the buffs, too, right? It's pretty clear that they probably don't want a repeat of what this buff did in the prior reset, because it absolutely looked a little bit ridiculous. However, there is one test that I wanted to do, and that test was, can a Xiangli Yao team clear? Can a Xiangli Yao Yinlin team actually clear? Because it was not able to in the prior reset. It had no chance. No matter how well you played, what combos you did, any of that, you just kind of couldn't do it. You just couldn't do it. And so I'm wondering, Can you do it now? Let's see, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see.
Astral modulation.
Tear them to pieces. You're not getting away. I've had enough. Get lost.
Variable elimination. Pierce through the stars.
All right, come on.
Reconfiguration. Reconfiguration. Complete
Vow from the soul.
overhaul.
Crush them.
In war with time.
Did we miss a crit?
Tear them to pieces. Obey. Time to wrap it up.
Variable elimination. All shall reveal itself. Reconfiguration.
Bro, just like sitting there and then looking at Yinlin's like coordinated attacks deal absolutely no damage, even on Empyrene, is actually some of the most depressing shit ever.
Complete
Ordained.
overhaul.
Stay calm.
Conditions optimal.
Zap strength. The stage is yours.
Lion graft you knew.
Tear them to pieces.
Oh, we're not even gonna have our coordinated attacks for this shit either. Oh, we're not even gonna have... I probably need to re-trigger them. Otherwise, we're gonna be in a fucking... We're gonna be in a terrible issue.
Variable elimination. Pierce
Oh,
through the
dear.
stars. Exploit.
Hey, that did like 320k. That's pretty good.
Reconfiguration. Exploit. Reconfiguration.
Vow from the soul. Astral modulation.
Tear them to pieces. I've had enough. Get lost. Think you got permission? Obey.
Variable elimination. All shall reveal itself.
400k.
Reconfiguration.
Wait, this clears.
Conditions optimal.
Ordained. Diminish.
Like, barring a horrific disaster, this 1,000,000% clears.
Variable elimination.
Is this the disaster?
Variable elimination. Pierce through the stars.
I think they listened. I think the devs listened and they probably toned down the HP or just made the buff stronger. Because the Xiangli team just very easily clearing like that, I gotta say, if that team is easy... Guys, let me show you something. This is the team tier list that I Win to Lose had, where he worked with some theory crafters to see what the strongest teams in the game are. Xiangli Yinlin Shorekeeper is literally the worst 5-star team in the game. It is, like, actually, by all measures, the worst team in the game. The worst. Every other team is, like, better. Every other 5-star is better. That's the truth of the matter. And this team pretty much easy 3-starred that shit. And this is the Yinlin we were using, guys. And you remember that shit that we did to... We went ahead and we extended Yinlin's rotation so that we could use her coordinated attacks. We extended her rotation artificially to use her coordinated attacks because she was on the Empowering Anthem set. And I'll show you what the investment looks like on her. Her build is dog shit. Her build is trash, bro.
No rush. The impatient ones will fall right into our lap.
88.9, 240, 250. How is that bad? Because this is such a dog shit ratio with Shorekeeper. You want to know what the crit rate on this build is? She gains 15% crit rate from using her skill, and with Shorekeeper, she's going to be at 115%. So if you're overcapping by 15% crit rate, that's probably a bad build, right? Oh, wait, sorry. I guess people that don't understand how math works in this fucking game assume that a 15% over... Maybe people think it's Warframe, and that you could get, like, double crits. You actually can't in this game. So any crit rate you have over 100% is a fucking waste, and this has literally 15% more crit rate over 100% while having only 249 crit damage. Most Yinlin builds, if you're actually optimizing them, will have like 85 and then like 270, 280, 290 here. That's what she's capable of because, well, you want a lot of crit damage on the character. And I'm saying that's the build that we were using. The Xiangli Yao build is arguably very, very good, though. I will give you that one. But I'm telling you this. Xiangli Yao, again, being on one of the worst teams, being on literally the worst team in the game. Like, this is without a doubt. You can see it all over here. Red means it's 5-star units. It's the worst team in the game. It literally gets outperformed by Jian and Mortefi. That's how bad this team is. And that's pretty much easy clearing with like 30 seconds left, assuming that you still got, like, I would call that clear that we did a very comfortable, low effort, plenty of room for optimizations clear. And that, to me, is the biggest sign of listening that we've probably seen in the ToA thus far. Even if Kuro Games has decided to go ahead and sandbag the patch, they sandbag the patch when it comes to the events, at least they've made the ToA, I mean, I'm going to be honest, I think it's an improvement over the last one. The enemies are super easy to, like, the enemy movesets are still mobile while not being cancerous like the Lampy Lumen. And this just really feels like this one is like akin to like a boss rush stage to me, just using elite enemies. It felt fine, and the Impermanent Terran feels fine to fight as well. I have no complaints at all about these middle floors because it just feels like, yeah, maybe Galbreda will feel strong, but it's not like it's at the cost of every other team feeling like shit. And that's probably due to the fact that, well, I mean, crit damage is crit damage, and then even if the other buffs aren't that crazy, you still got this other one that will increase your damage over time. And maybe Xiangli Yao inflicts negative statuses when he sees them and does, like, his time slow. Maybe that's what's going on. I'm not super sure, but it feels balanced to me. It doesn't feel like there's much of an issue at all. I used the worst team in the game, and we pretty much easily cleared. I would say that Hikari is actually the biggest issue this reset, because you're really gonna have to, like, focus up when she's in kind of like dodge mode. You can trivialize it by using Carlotta, but there are gonna be a lot of characters that really don't deal with this boss particularly well. And so having a team with, like, range units, stuff like that, range damage dealers, a regular Phoebe, for example, Absolution Phoebe, instead of using your Zani, they'll probably give you a better time. But I do think it's an interesting design choice to put her in here, but she doesn't have that much HP at all. That's kind of like the difference. When it comes to the side towers, you're just going to have when Resonators cast an intro skill, their crit damage is increased by 20%, and they gain 40% basic attack damage. With a Havoc resistance decrease, well, let's just be honest here, right, ladies and gentlemen? This is probably for a Camellia. And you got Chop Chops in the Dragon and Dirge. It might be a little bit annoying, but I don't think that this is going to be anything too difficult from what we've seen before. Like I've said in the past, the side tower HP is super low. It was the same for Hikari. You would blow her up in like one rotation. And the same thing's probably going to happen here. You'll blow up the Dragon of Dirge in like 1 or 2 rotations. And then when it comes to this side tower, fusion resistance decreased by 10%, fusion damage bonus is increased by 25%, and dealing damage with an intro skill causes a blast that deals 1500% fusion damage. This is another typical side tower buff. Every single team in the game can use it. Fusion teams are naturally going to have a bigger advantage, but you're still triggering a 1500% burst every 10 seconds, no matter what team you're using. And you have a fusion damage bonus built in to increase the damage of that burst. There's no issue at all with this one. I don't even need to do the testing. You're against the Mech Abomination. This ToA is definitely a response to some of the feedback that I think Kuro has received about it being too difficult, because this one looks like it's going, you can do it in your sleep. I legitimately think the only thing you gotta watch out for is the Mech Abomination one-shotting you. Otherwise, you can do it in your sleep. And then this one over here, Dragon of Dirge might be a little bit annoying, but we already have a lot of experience dealing with him. And after you figure out his moveset, when he dashes back and stuff, I think you're going to have no issues at all. And it's still a pretty general buff because you still get crit damage increases. We were just busy taking a look at this buff that's going to be available on floors 1 and 2, right? The one that's focused on the shield, the liberation, all of that. I just wanted to show a quick comparison to what it actually looked like before in the older version of the ToA, where they had a cooldown of once every 4 seconds on the ability, so characters with repeated liberation casts couldn't actually use it. Carlotta can actually use that buff now, and it was also a reduce the damage taken buff and also increase total damage by 16%, and it only lasted 6 seconds over here. So this buff lasts longer, it grants a bigger damaging buff, it still stacks up to 3 times, but there's no cooldown on triggering this shield on liberation. So that's the main differences between the two, and let's just say this one's a lot more accessible for more units on the roster. So good job, Kuro Games, on adjusting this buff and making it feel a lot more just like roster friendly compared to just only working for Augusta and Yuno to an extended degree. I would just say this ToA reset as a whole, it feels like a lot of listening done by the developers to ensure, right, that it feels a lot more achievable for a lot of teams. Because this one feels like an absolute joke for like any unit in the game. Hikari is the only one that's a little bit questionable. That's what I would say. They listened everywhere in this ToA except for maybe this boss, because I'm just gonna be real with you. Some characters feel criminally bad against this thing. Like literally criminally bad against this thing. And it's a bit of a shame. That's going to be our overview of the 2.7 ToA reset. I would dare say that it appears that the developers have listened to a very, very, very high degree. And I'm pretty happy with it overall. So yeah, let me know what you all thought, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.